This is a video demonstration of module number 9 prepared by Younas and John O'Brien. In this module, we will look at making an assembly drawing from the assembly of housing body described in one of the previous videos. You'll find the link for the assembly in the description below. Let us first try to open the assembly. So we have about 3 parts in here: the housing body, a plain bush, and a bushing on the top. You can make a drawing from the standard toolbar. You have make a drawing from under new icon from this part or assembly. I already have one template for the drawing, so I'll open up the drawing template. To include the various views, you may go over the task pane, view palette. You have module number 8, and this is housing assembly. I would drag and drop in the front view, a projected top view, and a right view of the assembly file. Remove the tangent edges. Select somewhere in the front view. Tangent edge, tangent edges removed. Repeat the same for the other 2 views. You may add hidden lines in the top view. Select the top view, display style under property manager for that particular view. Select hidden lines visible. We also show the hidden lines in the side view. Now, to include the bill of materials, we first update a few settings in the options. Document properties, tables, bill of materials. We have the automatic update of bill of material. It's checked. By default it is checked. Make sure it is checked if it is unchecked in your settings. Then we have annotation, balloons. We'll have the single balloon style as circular with a split line. In the text, upper text we keep item number, and for the lower text we'll retain the quantity here. Under leader display, we'll keep it as with a bent arrow. Under detailing, we check the box, display all types, and say OK. We get the bill of material by going over annotation toolbar, tables. Under it you have bill of material. Select the view from where you wish to get the bill of material. I select the front view. We have the table template in the property manager for the bill of material as standard bill of material. You can browse and then select the other different templates that are available in here. For now, I would not change and keep it as standard bill of material. We'll keep the default settings as it is in here. We'll go over these details in one of our other videos. Accept this. And then you have a table attached to your cursor. You may drop it anywhere on the drawing sheet. You can anchor it on the top right corner, or you can even put it in here at the bottom. We have got the first row with the header as item number, part number, description, quantity. It's like an Excel table. You may double click to change the details in here. The part number, I would put that in the first column, the header for the first column. The second column is description. I would remove that and put it in the second column. Third column would type here as material. The last column, let's get this as hold it from the top when you see the shaded black arrow, and then drag and put it next to the part number. So we'll have the part number as the first column with the 3 parts listed here: quantity, 1 each, description, giving you the description of these parts, different part numbers, and the material for the various parts that are in this particular assembly. We will label the parts with the balloon references. So before we do that, let us try to create broken out section views to look at the various parts that are assembled in this assembly. We go over annotation toolbar, not the annotation but the sketch toolbar. Create a contour, a closed contour in the upper half of the front view. Keeping the sketch selected, we go to view layout toolbar and select broken out section. We don't have anything to exclude. We'll leave that blank and say OK. Check the preview option. Let the section plane pass through the center of one of these cylindrical circular edges, and that would show us the 2 parts that are assembled in this region. We make another similar broken out section view by creating a closed contour with the help of a circle sketch entity. Keeping the circular edge selected, go to view layout and select broken out section view. Nothing to be excluded. Check the preview box to get the cutting line of the section plane. This time it has to pass through the center of the cylindrical boss protruding from the right side or the right face of the object. So I select the circular edge such that this cutting plane would pass through the center of the circle, giving us the 2 parts that come in this particular region. Accept this. Let us change the crosshatch pattern for the materials that are in here, the different parts that are in here. Select the area represented by the housing body in the property manager. Uncheck the material crosshatch and then assign this as a material with standard DIN 201 gray cast iron. The same to be reflected over here with the second broken out section view. So I also changed this material to gray cast iron. We then have the bushing above. Select the area inside the bushing, uncheck the material crosshatch, and assign this material bronze brass for the ISO standard. So it now gets the hatching pattern as defined for bronze. The same for the plain bush. We would assign it brass and bronze as the material type. We add the balloon references from annotation toolbar, balloon. We have got the setting here as circular with a split line. This was defined from options, document properties. We can even do it from here in the property manager if you want to do it individually. We have two characters, the balloon text. The upper one has item number, the lower one has quantity. Select a point of the leader line somewhere inside the area represented by the first part, the housing body, and then drag and drop this balloon in the open space. The number in the upper half of the balloon represents the part number. The number below represents the quantity required for that part in this particular assembly. Similarly, drop a point of the leader line in the area represented by the bushing. You may drag and drop the balloon outside. That's the third part in this assembly, required one in number. Pick up a point, drop this point from the leader line in the area representing plain bush, and then put the balloon reference to indicate the number and the quantity required in this assembly. You have this as the second part. Let us add the center lines and the center mark for this particular orthographic views. You have annotation, center mark. I would pick up the outer circular edge here to add the center mark, which would also give a center mark for the other concentric circular edges that lie inside. Similarly, add another center mark in the right side view. We've got the center line and the annotation toolbar. Let's drop it here in the center of the two cylinders. Another one between these two lines. Next one in the right side view. I've got one more in the top view. We can also add the isometric view. From the view palette, we've got the isometric view, the space provided on the top right corner of the block of the page, and then we have display style shaded with edges. We'll try to make the tangent edges with font. Accept this. Let's fit the column width. Simply double click on the line next to the column C, and it is going to fit based on the text length that you have inside that particular column. You have these as part number as the first column, 3 parts represented by the balloon references here, part 1, part 2 and 3 above, then the quantity 1 each, description, housing body, plain bush and a bushing. If you don't have the material mentioned here, you may simply double click, keep the link and then type in the material, cast iron for example, and accept this. As far as the dimensions are concerned, in an assembly view or assembly drawing file, we include the maximum dimensions. So let's go to sketch, dimension, sketch toolbar, you have smart dimension, pick up the bottom edge and the top edge to assign the overall height of the assembly. You have the edge on the left, edge on the right, giving you the overall width of the assembly. Similarly, in the top view, we'll get the overall depth of the assembly. We can exclude this decimal values that we find in here. Let's add a layer. And let's give it a color, a red color. Another one for the balloon references. Let's make it dark blue. Select all the dimensions and put them under dimension layer. Get the properties of dimension layer. Balloon references. Pick them all by keeping the control key on the keyboard pressed, and then assign it to the layer balloon. Let's click on Rebuild. That completes module number 8. Module number 8 and module 9.